In the area of housing, I will involve fellow Singaporeans in working out some housing policies together. Let me elaborate on these two takeaways. First, the current housing imbalance. It's temporary and given sufficient time can be solved. This I'm confident. As I said, I've been in MND for almost 2 years, so I thought I'll use this occasion to report to you on the progress of these 2 years. First, we increased supply dramatically. An exceptionally large number of new homes are currently being built. We'll begin to feel the impact this year when 30,000 units are completed and families get the keys to their new homes. But the full impact will kick in from next year when 50,000 units are completed, followed by 54,000 units in 2015 and 63,000 units in 2016. For public housing specifically, the ramped-up program has statistically cleared our backlog of married HDB first-timers. With 15,000 marriages each year, family formation is well within this building program of 25,000 per year. But some of them have lost out during balloting to couples yet to marry under the fiancé scheme, who outnumber them in BTO applications. So we are correcting this through this Parenthood Priority Scheme, PPS. In the recent exercise for non-mature estates, most of the 600 married HDB first-timers with children who apply will get a chance to select one. Mr. Seah Kian Peng proposed that we should now extend PPS to pregnant mothers. I agree. And we can do so from the May BTO launch. By the way, Mr. Seah was the first who suggested giving housing priority to young couples with children. This was some 3 years ago. I would like to record his role as the father of PPS. I'm just a midwife. After we have cleared this backlog, we will extend the scheme to cover those already married but without children yet, and I hope to be able to do so next year. Mr. Gerald Giam asked whether, when we do this extension, will the quota be shifted, will the quota be amended? Yeah, certainly. Otherwise, you won't be able to clear the backlog of the targeted population. You see, just to share with you, if you look at the profile of the BTO applicants, it's quite interesting. First-timer applicants. I rely on memory. I think about 55% are not yet married. So these are fiancé scheme. So more than half, that's what I meant when I said they outnumbered the already married couples. Then I think those with children forms about 20%, and those married, not yet with children, the remaining, whatever, 25%. Yeah. So we can easily adjust the quota in order to achieve the purpose of clearing the backlog. But to me, this is the clear ranking priority, which I think is fair. Those who already married children, I think, try to give them as fast as we can. Those married, not yet children, give it to them, and then they have to deliver the deal, which is the babies next year. And then those who are not yet married, get them to get the flat, get the keys, and quickly get married and have babies. We have complemented the PPS with a Parenthood Provisional Housing Scheme. This provides an additional housing option to first-timer married couples with a child who need to rent while they await completion of their new HDB flats. And the father of this scheme is Minister Lim Hng Kiang. He proposed this to me a couple of years ago, and I always remember that, and when I had a chance to do so, so now the baby is delivered. The scheme has attracted 200 plus applicants. All the 200 plus families can soon move into these interim flats after they have been retrofitted. Mr. Yeo Guok Kwan suggested that we extend the scheme to married HDB first-timers without children. As we still have a few hundred vacant units, I'm able to say yes to Mr. Yeo. In other words, all married HDB first-timers with or without children will be eligible for such interim rental flats while they wait for the new flats to be completed. And of course, in the process, if demand were to exceed supply, we must still give priority to those with children. Second, we stabilize BTO prices by delinking them from the resale market. This is done by increasing subsidy and keeping BTO prices steady, even as resale prices go up. We are committed to continuing it until the market stabilizes. Mr. Ngiam asked, what do I mean by stability? And we will assess it by examining, for example, the resale price index. He also asked about how we compute market discount. This is not difficult to calculate because the resale prices of most flat types are widely available. In fact, we publish them on HDB website. But of course, it's not so easy comparing two flat units because local characteristics have to be factored in. So there's some subjective element. Is it near to MRT? Is it not? Which level? Is it level 15 or level 40, etc., etc.? I think those are the adjustments that one need to make. In the last 2 years, 38,000 HDB first-timer families have benefited from this new pricing policy. The attractiveness of the new BTO prices has been noticed. Almost all HDB first-timers now buy their new flats instead of resale flats. This is quite a big change. In the past, it used more bought direct from resale flat because it's immediately available. Now, almost all got it from us. This has diverted significant demand from the resale market and has helped to moderate the rise in resale prices. But we know that this is not enough to tame the resale market because resale flat prices, like that of private properties, are determined by the market and they are heavily influenced by market sentiments. And this is where the media does play a role to guide the sentiments. Mr. Ang Wei Nen mentioned a CNA report last night about some $900,000 resale flat unit. Yeah, I was watching the news and I noted it too. So this morning when I flipped through Straits Times reported on the same story, but correctly highlighted the main issue of the story, which is that resale transactions has plunged, which is actually the main story. Unfortunately, CNA chose to forget about the main part of the story, but focus on this $900,000 unit, which obviously is an outlier, and is in a resale market. It's beyond my control. So I hope media can help us here. I think we are in a collective exercise here. I think nobody wants the property market to continue to escalate and building up a possible bubble. I think that nobody will benefit. So I think all of us are in this boat together. We also want to calm down the property market. The way Straits Times reported on this same story had a calming effect. The way CNA do so, unfortunately, had the alarming effect and should not be repeated. Third, we acted to curb speculative demand in our property market. Sub-sales as a proportion of our private housing sale transactions have fallen to 7%. We have gone on to curb investment demand, especially with the recent cooling package. It's still early days, but we observe that some developers have lowered their prices. Most analysts expect the measures to impact both sale volumes and prices. These cooling measures are necessary as we don't want Singaporeans to overstretch and expose themselves to unforeseen changes in the property market. I think yesterday, NMP Tan Su Shan gave a good speech when she talked about her worry of this double whammy in the property market. And she worried that if there was this perfect storm or double whammy, and the global economic slowdown and interest rates go up, then what will happen to those who go in now hoping to buy their second or third property as investments and hoping to make a killing? They may get killed in the process because we are vulnerable to external shocks, such as a global economic downturn or a rise in interest rates. Interest rates now are extraordinarily low, both globally and in Singapore. They could return to the norm very quickly. An increase of 2 to 3 percentage points, which is conceivable, could increase mortgage payments by up to 40%, 40. If homeowners fall behind on their mortgage payments, they could lose their homes. And this had happened to many Singaporeans not too long ago. We will do all we can to prevent a property bubble because no one benefits and many will get hurt when a property bubble bursts. We continue to watch over the property market and we will harden the cooling measures if necessary. Lastly, we increase access to public housing. We raised the BTO and executive condominium income ceilings in 2011, so 8 in 10 households now have access to new affordable flats directly from HDB. As we reduce the first-timer backlog, we tripled the second-timer quota for BTO flats in non-mature estates last year. We share Engineer Dr. Lee Bee Hwa and Mr. Hari Kumar's concerns on ECs, and in January we tightened the EC housing scheme to nudge it back to its original policy intent. And I'm ever ready to tighten the scheme further if necessary. So this is briefly the progress in 2 years. I think the immediate phase of firefighting for first-timers is over, but there are still some hot spots to tackle. The temperature has come down a few notches, but it's still uncomfortable, I know. The progress has, however, gained us some breathing space to take a pause and review the priorities for the next 2 years. And in addition, I'm taking the opportunity of this COS to begin the process of a public discussion on our longer-term housing policies. Let me first discuss the housing work plan for this financial year, my 3rd year in MND. This year, we will maintain the ramp-up construction program and launch another 25,000 BTO flats. A couple of months ago, HDB announced that they were planning about 23,000 BTO flats. I decided to tell them to up the figure, 25,000, because I wanted to decisively clear the backlog of all married HDB first-timers this year. This will allow us to begin to meet the housing needs of other segments of the population besides the first-timers. First, singles. While families will continue to be our top priority, singles have housing needs too. This we know. Currently, singles aged 35 and above can buy resale flats, and each year about 4,000 do. However, rising resale prices have made it difficult for them. Engineer Lee Bee Hwa, Mr. Lim Biao Chuan spoke about their difficulties and asked that we allow singles to buy new HDB flats directly from HDB, and we will do so. We will allow first-timer singles aged 35 and above to buy new 2-room flats directly from HDB to meet their housing needs. These will be singles earning up to $5,000 per month as they face more financial difficulty owning a home. These new flats will be built in non-mature estates in order to keep the prices down. They will come in 2 sizes, 35 square meter and 45 square meter, and we leave it to them to choose according to their needs and budget. A couple of other important details are still being finalized. For example, how much should we subsidize the flats as compared to married couples? What should the relative priority be between singles and married couples applying for these flats? We will settle these outstanding issues as quickly as we can so that the first batch of eligible singles can apply in the July BTO launch, most likely in Sengkang. I don't know who is the MP there.